Hello everyone, it is Kendra. Welcome to a new video. If you are new here or have not done so yet, I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below, leave a comment, like the video, anything you are called to do. It would really help me out and support my channel. Today we are talking about life hacks. Now, I feel like life hack videos, you watch them and a lot of them seem like they're cool, but then in actuality or in reality, they just don't work that well, or they're actually harder than they seem. So today I'm bringing you my real life hacks. I named this Real Tips for Daily Contentedness. Now, I chose that word very carefully. I almost put Real Tips for Daily Happiness, but I don't think that these tips are necessarily going to make you happy. However, I do feel like once you implement them and once you have them kind of like on a steady thing, they kind of become second nature to you. They allow you to free up the space in your brain to not think about your home anymore, not think about what is surrounding you and what you have to deal with, but truly focusing on what your core problems are at that time. Or like if you're not having issues, then you get to focus on fun things. I chose contentedness because I feel like these tips will help you, like even if I have a bad day, normally I'm like, at least I made my bed today. I have something going for me that makes me feel like a put together human being. Without further ado, let's move on to all of the tips. I have my handy dandy notebook here. Does anyone else, okay, Trid says he does not remember doing this. Do you guys remember doing this? Like in middle school? Cutting or like folding your pages, and then they're gonna just get bigger and bigger and it turns into this weird triangle like notebook effect. It's hard to tell now, but it also serves as an easy bookmark. Just folding your papers. Anyway, I get distracted. I get easily distracted by school supplies. Tip number 1, life hack number 1, and that is make your bed every day. I completely used to be the person, especially because I feel like I'm just kind of an obnoxious sleeper. I kind of spread out all over the bed. I used to kick in my sleep as a child. My blankets just end up in a ball, in a wad when I wake up in the morning. And so I used to just leave it like that. I'm like, what's the point? I'm just gonna get it messy again. So I would just leave it in a ball and, go on with my day. However, I feel like it's been like over 5 years now. It's been quite a while, but for the most part, I make my bed every day. There's a couple days here and there that it doesn't happen, and on those days, I kind of feel like a mess. But if you make your bed every day, it literally takes, I have timed it because some days I'm like, I just don't want to do it. It takes too much time. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's time myself. How long does it actually take? It literally has taken me like 30 seconds. Like max 2 minutes when there's a lot of pillows going on or when I'm really tired or something. But something that takes less than 2 minutes to like 30 seconds to do will make a huge improvement on your day. It'll make you feel like, if everything else goes wrong today, at least I made my bed and I can have that beautiful, like, I have always loved the pictures of bedrooms with like a beautiful made bed and a beautiful picture hanging above. Like, that to me just symbolizes like you've got your life together, you're a real adult. You have a beautiful bed. I'm very strange. This is gonna be forever long if I keep going at this rate. So let's move on to tip number 2, and that is if it takes 5 minutes or less, do it now. This one is kind of hard to implement, especially because okay, there's a sweatshirt that I saw Jen DeFore from Jen Plans wearing the other day, and it said, "I'm organized when I'm in the mood to be." And that is me, like, to a T. In the mood to be organized, everything's gonna be in its place, everything's gonna have a home, everything's gonna be labeled, like, yeah. But then there's other days where I'm like, I do not have the energy in me. It's gonna stay right here until I have the energy to deal with it. And I don't give a crap what's going on. I have other things to deal with right now. I mean, we've all been there, right? So this one is a little bit hard to implement at first, but it seriously has, it has kept my room and like the places where I am spending my time so tidy, and it's an easy rule to follow that once you start implementing it, you don't have to really think about it. It takes 5 minutes or less. Do it now rather than later. Tip number 3, and that is pick up as you go. Now this kind of goes along with number 2, but I feel like this is something I regularly have like in the back of my mind. I'm normally like, if you see it, just do it. Now I am the one in the house that is the most tidy, I would say. And out in our shared living space, the boys tend to accumulate a lot of trash, especially on flat surfaces, like on the end table next to the couch, or the center console in the couch, or empty drink cups, or things like that. And I'm the kind of person where I'm like, you know what, I'm standing up, and if I'm going to the bathroom, let's say, I'm walking right past the trash can. So if I see like a pile of Kleenexes or a candy wrapper, I'm just gonna pick it up and do it as I walk past the trash can, rather than sitting and leaving it and sitting in trash for what can sometimes be like multiple days, which is disgusting, but I live with boys. So moving on to the next one. Number 4, and that is have a donate bin. I always have a little basket next to where I leave my purse, and that is where it is just a home for items that I see where throughout my day, throughout my daily life, if I see something and I'm like, you know what, I really have not been using this. Have one so you always have a place to keep those things, and you can just place them in that bin rather than leaving it like in your closet. So you have a shirt you want to get rid of. You're like, you know what, I really haven't been wearing that. It doesn't really quite fit me right anymore, or it's not my style anymore. Rather than leaving it in your closet till your next declutter, and then when you get there, you're like, oh, did I want this? Did I not want this? Did it fit right? Did it not? Rather than having that in the back of your brain, once you see it, just place it in the donate bin, and you no longer have to think about it. And then once that donate bin is full, you can easily take that to any place to donate. And bonus if it's donatable, like a cardboard box, because then you don't even have to think about it. You can pick up the whole thing and give it away, and it is gone from your house. Easy peasy. Tip number 5, and that kind of goes along with the previous one, but that is declutter your inventory on a regular basis. In addition to having the donate bin all of the time, I normally do a quarterly or like a biannually declutter. I go through all the items that I own. I mean, sometimes it's not literally every single item, but I normally always hit the things that tend to accumulate the fastest. So that would be my wardrobe, clothing, my desk with planner supplies and craft areas. Those things tend to accumulate a lot of stuff over time. So declutter your stuff on a regular basis, then it won't pile and pile and pile up on you until it becomes so overwhelming that you just don't even have the energy to think about it. Number 6, and that is keep up on your laundry. If you keep up on laundry and do it regularly, it's not going to build into piles and mountains of laundry. I keep one laundry basket for me and Trid, and I like to keep up on laundry. Laundry is not really a chore that I hate doing. I kind of enjoy doing laundry. So I just do the laundry, and I normally do it twice a week. Sundays is always a good day to do laundry because that is like my catch-up day, my like prep day for the week. And so I do it then, and normally in the middle of the week when we need some more clothes for work. So twice a week, and I do one load, and I've timed myself because I hate folding. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with everything, but I love-hate folding laundry because I do the Marie Kondo method, which that's another tip that will keep your drawers so clean and you can see everything you have, and it is magical. Anyway, Marie Kondo folds your clothes, but fold your clothes right away. Right after they come out of the dryer, they're fresh and they're warm, and then they won't get wrinkled. I timed myself, and I typically take only like 15 minutes to fold one load of laundry. So that doesn't take too much time, so just do it. It'll make your life so much easier, and it's another thing to check off your to-do list. It just feels good. Now, the next tip is change out of your work clothes as soon as possible. I do this all the time because who wants to stay? I work at a Dairy Queen. I should preface that. So normally my work clothes are very sweaty and covered in ice cream or chocolate or strawberry or combination or grease or, you know, ketchup. I'm covered in a lot of nasty stuff. My dog is always really happy when I come home to give me kisses. So change out of your work clothes right away. In addition to them being gross, especially for me, who wants to sit in the clothes that they were just at work in all day? I want to come home, I want to relax, I want to feel good, I want to kick my feet up and not have to deal with much after I come home from work. So change right away. It also gives me a better mindset where once I take my work clothes off, like I'm done with work, it's a nice like clear sign that I don't have to worry about work anymore. I can focus on home or my hobbies or anything else that I have to do that night. And I typically get into sweats and a t-shirt or whatever I'm wearing for pajamas that night. So who doesn't want to live half their life in pajamas? Now, the next tip was interesting. I did this on vacation with my family, and one of my sisters is like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, this." And they were like, "Oh my god, I never thought of that. That is so smart." Use your dry shampoo at night, especially if you have an issue with like white casting or just like it's kind of looking splotchy and not so natural. Put in your dry shampoo at night before the day that you want to like do it, and this will give less white cast and it will look more natural, and you wake up ready to go. You just have to kind of comb through your hair, touch it up a little bit, bam, easy peasy. My next tip, let's see, I kind of added this one in at the end for fun. Now that is make time for hobbies. All the rest of these tips are gonna help you keep your home tidy. They're gonna help you, you know, be more of an adult and be more responsible and all that stuff. But really, for me, the point of doing all those things is so that I can put them out of my mind. I feel like my basics are done, like the things that my responsibilities that I have to take care of are done, and that leaves me to focus on the things that I actually love doing. And it allows me to make time for my hobbies. And that is the best part, I feel like, of all of this. And, you know, a lot of my hobbies are things that take a lot of time. And that it would be like reading and crafting. I recently got into a majorly long quilting project, which, you know, like I don't have any more hobbies that take a lot of time. Let's just add another one. But Doing all these things has really helped me honestly stay in more of a positive mindset, and by doing little things along the way, they're little wins throughout the day, and they just help you boost your confidence, and you can do it. You can do it. It just takes little by little, bit by bit. It may take a little bit of time, but you can do it. I believe in you. Now, the last thing I wanted to mention in this video is a quote. This quote has helped me really put things in perspective when it comes to getting my stuff done and even getting through my hobbies that I'm really excited about. And sometimes I just lose steam. I mean, don't we all, right? Now, I don't remember who this quote was by. I will put it on the screen so you can read it yourself as well. But once I heard this, I'm like, yes, that is me. And it really helped me to switch my perspective. So the quote is, "People romanticize their plans but dread the execution. The magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding." This is amazing because I completely am someone who romanticizes their plans. I get all these big plans and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this, and I get overexcited, and then I become overwhelmed when I do not get the whole list of things done, when in reality it was too much for me to do in the first place. So I romanticize my plans but then dread the execution because I'm like, yes, it would be so amazing if I could just do this. Like, right now, I am like, I went big, go big or go home, and then I went big. I decided to start a quilt. I am a very beginner sewer, and I have little to no experience, and I'm like, let's make a quilt. And it has about 1.5 million triangles in it. And, you know, I was so excited when I was going to the craft store and picking out fabric and looking at inspiration photos and all this stuff. And then I get to the part where I'm about 300 squares in cutting fabric, and I'm like, oh my god, this sucks. Who would want to do this? And I think of that quote and I'm like, the magic you're looking for is in the work that you're avoiding. And every time I am about ready to sit down on a project and I'm like, ugh, it's just gonna be a lot of work, and I'm like, you know what, this is the most fun part of the project because I just get to zone out and I just get to enjoy my time. It helps me to slow down. I normally put on some music, put on a podcast or an audiobook, and go to town on my sewing or my cutting, and it really makes it a lot more enjoyable. I just have to keep that quote in the back of my mind, and it really does help me put things in perspective, where we always have all these big plans, but in reality, life is about the little things. Life is about the mundane, and not every day is going to be a grand big adventure. And I'm normally always the one looking towards those big grand adventures. That's what I want, that's what I love. And I get kind of sad sometimes where I'm like, it's not going anywhere. I get impatient. I'm like, I want the big adventures to happen. I want to be done with my quilt. I want to be relaxing with it. I want to enjoy it. I want to look at how beautiful my craftsmanship is. But you know what? I can't get to that place until I finish the dang quilt, right? I can't get to that place until I have put in all that hard work and worked on my straight sewing, which still needs a lot of work, and worked on pressing all those millions of triangles and cutting all the fabric out, and, you know, looking at patterns and watching YouTube videos to see how do I do the right edging, how do I line up these seams just perfectly. That is the part where I'm learning and I'm growing as a person, and that's how I'm spending my daily life, is through the mundane tasks, right? And that quote has really just helped me put things in perspective and enjoy the waiting that comes in a lot of life, waiting to get to those big grand adventures, and rather than being sad and wallowing in it and just being impatient, it helps me to distract myself with the little things that I enjoy and take pride in what I'm doing and slow down and just breathe it all in and soak up the magic. Wow, that has been a really long video. If you stuck with me through it all, thank you so much. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed, and comment down below what is your favorite tip and what are you like struggling with. What is your biggest struggle when it comes to these little things, you know? Let's have a discussion and let me know in the comments down below. I hope you guys will subscribe to my channel for more content. I also talk about reading and booktube and organization and decluttering, all sorts of fun stuff that really tie into a lot of what I talked about today. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Have a happy day. Bye everyone.